The sun is the center of our solar system. As a giant ball of plasma, it's pretty hard to miss him in its 30 million degree center. You would see hydrogen helium and release energy. Magnetic fields of solar flares and coronal mass ejections, and particles from these bursts have no electronic connections. It's 100 times wider than 3 miles far. Despite all of this, it's just an average-sized star. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets, rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, made of hydrogen and helium gas like a balloon. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, and as such it takes the least time to run around its orbit. Its year is only 88 Earth days, and the solar wind means that little gas stays on its rocky surface, barren and full of craters. With no atmosphere, its temperature wavers from 800 Fahrenheit to -300 at night, but there is still some ice in craters away from the light. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets, rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, made of hydrogen and helium gas like a balloon. Venus is the second planet from the sun. It's the same size as Earth, give or take some. Venus is covered in a thick layer of clouds made of carbon dioxide, which in effect shrouds the planet from losing heat like a giant blanket, so it's 900 degrees due to the greenhouse effect. It's covered with volcanoes and is shaped by their powers. The only probes that ever landed died within 2 hours. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets, rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, made of hydrogen and helium gas like a balloon. The Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. I got a feeling you're familiar with this one. It's the only planet known to have had life in its history, though just how life started is still a bit of a mystery. 4 billion years ago, 2 protoplanets collided, and our moon was formed when collision debris united Earth in the Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold, for liquid water to exist and life as we know it to take hold. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets, rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, made of hydrogen and helium gas like a balloon. Mars is the 4th planet from the sun, and it's the place where our voyage to other planets has begun. The surface is covered with red iron oxide, much of the atmosphere is blown away, there's no magnetic field inside. Early astronomers saw canals everywhere, and they thought perhaps aliens had put them there. Thanks to telescopes, orbiters, and rovers, we now know that there are no such alien canals, although rivers, deltas, volcanoes, and canyons abound. There's little water left where life on Mars can still be found, so we sent spacecraft there like Curiosity to try and understand Mars' geologic history. Between the inner planets and outer planets, there are billions of asteroids orbiting in a belt around our star. Sometimes they are knocked out of their stable orbit, and a few might collide with Earth if they don't avoid it. Why the belt? Well, it has to do with Jupiter, you see. It pulls on the belt with its massive gravity, preventing asteroids from forming into another planet. But don't worry, a big one can't hit Earth soon, or can it? Jupiter's the 5th planet. It's the largest one, bigger than all the others combined, but only 1,000th the sun. It's a gas giant, so it has no ground on which to stand, but that doesn't mean its surface is bland. The Great Red Spot is a giant cyclone on its surface. It's centuries old and huge, bigger than the Earth is. There are 4 moons that with binoculars you can see. Discovered in 1610 by Galileo Galilei. Io has volcanoes heated by the friction of its tide, and Europa is covered in ice with an ocean inside. Ganymede is the largest moon we know exists, and Callisto is covered in craters from the asteroids it hits. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets, rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, made of hydrogen and helium gas like a balloon. Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun. In terms of beauty, I'd say its rings have clearly won. They're made of bits of ice and rock orbiting through the void, and they may have been formed when the moon was destroyed. Saturn is the least dense of any planet known, and the most related centrifugal forces really show. Titan is methane lakes and the thick orange haze, and Enceladus has water in liquid phase. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets, rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, made of hydrogen and helium gas like a balloon. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun, and dirty jokes about its name are deserving of shun. Not much is known about Uranus or its brother Neptune, because Voyage 2 is the only craft who ever looked to them. Uranus has rings, though not as red as Saturn, and it's usually devoid of any interesting patterns. There's not much more about this place which I can say, but hopefully we'll send a new spacecraft there someday. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune made of hydrogen and helium gas like the moon. Neptune is the 8th and final planet from our star. The sun's 21% as bright because it is so far. It's split here, and this mass has a composition. Uranus is orbit predicted its position. We have noticed Neptune glows a bright blue. The methane in its atmosphere gives them fluid. It's the windiest with 1,000 mile per hour gusts. It transfers liquid nitrogen spewing from its crust. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the first 4 planets rocky like ours. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune made of hydrogen and helium gas like the moon. The 9th planet was Pluto, but it's a planet no more because it's called its dwarf planet, but this topic solar. The planet's orbit close to a plane, but Pluto doesn't. No planets were found, it's what got this topic hot. Pluto's new one Charon is Pluto's little brother, so we got Pluto and Charon to like one another. We all get Kuiper belt in this dwarf cloud, because we're doing from our stars all radiation that we found. Our sun and planets like Earth and Mars are not alone. Just look at the stars. You see, most stars have their own collection of bodies.